And what do you think has been the key to how you've made the French Laundry so successful?
I always say I think the key to the success of the French Laundry is about the staff, the people, the relationships that we have with each other, the relationships we have with our suppliers, and then ultimately the relationship we have with our guests.
So staying on people for a second, how do you select your team, and how do you make sure that the best people on your team want to stay here over time?
It's a good question, and I don't think it's as much as that we select them as it's a mutual kind of selection. People come to the French Laundry or apply to work at the French Laundry because of the reputation it has, and because they feel they have what it takes to be part of this team. So it's a process. In many cases, it could be an accident. Being at the right place at the right time, with the right needs or the right qualities is always beneficial. And what I mean by that is you can have the best resume and the best experience, but if we don't really need anybody at that moment, then we're gonna miss the opportunity to work together. But keeping people is just about maintaining a certain level of challenge for them, and obviously opportunities are very important for the staff as well. And we always look at our staff now as generations. So we're trying to mentor the next generation. The first generations are the people that are at the top now. Who's the second? Who's the third? Who's the fourth? And how do we give them what they need? How do we continue to challenge them? How do we give them the opportunity? How do we finally mentor them to keep them coming along? And ultimately, they may not stay with us, which is fine. Take in case Jonathan Beno, who's our chef de cuisine at Per Se in New York, he left French Laundry in '96, and then we brought him back in 2001. Because we were planning to open a Per Se. So being here, understanding the culture, learning the repertoire, embracing the philosophy is really important, and you never know where you'll end up or how you'll come back.
When hiring someone, what's your favorite interview question to ask?
I don't really have interview questions, but when I hire somebody, and we're talking about people mainly in the kitchen, because I don't really hire people in the dining room or administration. So really, it's about watching them and how they move through the kitchen. We call it the dance. How they move through the kitchen is very important. And you can tell somebody who has an awareness about them because they know what's going on around them all the time, and they're avoiding it, or they're moving into it or moving away from it. And it's a wonderful thing to see.